I just finished week 14 of the Manifestation Marathon, and what came through at the very tail end of this experience and this week was the realization that I finally figured out the foundation or the equation that helps you to understand feeling the feeling of your manifestation before it happens. I don't know about you, but there's so many times I've heard it and it just has eluded me, and it's really frustrating. And I have theories as to why many people don't go into the details about it. These are my theories. I'm not going to get in my head. I don't want to talk about these theories because I just don't think they really matter right now. What matters is understanding that there is a formation when it comes to the process of your experience when calling in, grounding down, and bringing into manifest the reality that you want. And it's not just you doing your own thing, it's you following this formation that I'm going to share with you in just a minute, and then meeting universe, infinite spirit halfway there. That's a part of the equation. It's understanding what you need to do and then trusting that universe will guide you, give you clarity, and provide for you. So, what happened was earlier this week, I went into work. I was planning to go to a dance class, and I knew it was something that would serve my soul for a number of different reasons. And it came to me in a very miraculous and wonderful way. I wasn't even looking for it. It popped up during a morning meeting. And I instantly thought, oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. It created a desire within me. My whole body lit up because desire isn't just a mental construct, it's a physical construct. And a true desire may actually differ away from the mental beliefs that society has embedded in us. And I think that is really important because everyone's desires are going to be different. We have been taught not to trust our bodies. We've been taught to listen to the mind, but the mind can actually disconnect from the body and it can actually create a lot of incoherence when it comes to your soul because you have the mind, body, and spirit. And if you aren't in alignment and you aren't listening to your body, it will not allow you to readily connect in with your soul. It will also distort the pathways and channels that are there to support you in connecting into infinite spirit. So I got a big yes, and I trusted that. And that happened at the beginning of the week. Fast forward 3 days, I think it was 2 or 3 days, 2 days, I got ready to go to work and I brought everything for this class. I do take public transportation to get to work. So it's a bit of a dance to get ready, to plan. There's a lot more steps rather than just hopping in a car, driving, and then, when you want to do something, you just get in your car and go. There are a few more steps. And while I was at work, I started to feel really, really tired. And it was one of those things where I had to ask myself, well, okay, do I need to listen to my body and honor myself being tired? Or is this me pushing through a barrier and a block that I've had within my subconscious body? Because that's one thing I found on my healing journey is there's a difference between your body needing rest and your body moving through density into a new reality. Transmutation feels like you're moving through a pile of jelly. You get tired, you feel slow, you feel sluggish. And so I really had to take a step back and discern what was going on with me. Did I need to go home, rest, and recover? Or did I need to push through and go to this dance class. And I sat there and I had to be really honest with myself um, about just simply being lazy, not wanting to take a new bus, having to, because for me, being a neurodivergent, taking a new bus line, dealing with new energies, all that new stuff takes a toll on my body. And I don't like forcing myself to go into classes when I'm not energetically sound because that takes away from my ability to experience that class to the fullest. So I was at the end of my workday. I was still on the fence about what I was going to do, and I had to go drop something off for work. So I left my office and I started to get some movement. I was out in the air, I got some sunlight, and my body started to wake up. And I was like, ooh, okay, I like this feeling. Had my headphones in. I love putting Spotify on shuffle, and on comes a song that was based in samba. And I just felt my soul wake up. I was like, okay, you have to go. I'm like, your soul needs to dance. You need to move. This will be very healing for you on a number of different levels. Instead of stressing about, the bus, what's going to happen, I just detached from the outcome and said, I'm just going to go. And I ended up finishing this task, getting back to the office, changed into my clothes. And when I say I booked it to the bus, I booked it. And unfortunately, I missed it. But what happened while I was there was I got to experience another gift on my manifestation journey while waiting for my Uber. I was all worried about time, and I started using my affirmations of feeling grounded, feeling grateful, and I arrived there and I ended up having the best time filled with a lot of amazing people, and it really did fill my soul in a number of different ways. And what happened that was the most magical was the fact that I had a manifestation take place that day. And this is what I was talking about earlier is the small things are what mattered. And this is what helped me ground down the understanding of um, moving manifestations into reality. Because at the beginning of the day, while I was preparing to go to work, I remember looking in the refrigerator and I craved an apple so deeply. I just desired this apple, very similar to when that dance class, that desire to heal. And to be honest, even before that dance class came up, I desired something to help my body heal because I had just come back from a very long weekend memorial service and travel. And it was something that I could just feel. I had a heaviness still inside me. I hadn't released all this pain that I had been carrying. And I wanted support in doing that. And so when that dance class popped up, I knew that was spirit being like, here, this is what you desired. But going back to that morning, when I looked in the fridge, I craved an apple. I could taste it, I could feel it, and I could feel my body activating and saying yes. And it's so innocent and simple. I wasn't forcing it, it just came up. It was a desire, and I let it go. I said, okay, awesome. Thank you for that. Noted. I can't do anything about it now, so I'm just going to release it. I detached from it. And then I went about my day and it came up again. And I was at lunch and I was like, okay, I really want this apple. I'm going to detach. And I just discerned, I was like, okay, well, I will go get some at work. Or, I will get some when I have to go get groceries next time. And I let it go. And then I went through that whole song and dance of discernment. I arrived at the building where the dance class was going to be held. I walk in and I talk to the woman who's at the receptionist desk. And on top of the desk is a bowl full of apples. So I sat there and I laughed. I was like, oh my gosh, manifested these apples. But if I had said no and I had not been discerning of what my soul really needed, I wouldn't have gone and I wouldn't have gotten those apples because I would have been too tired. I wouldn't have gone to the store. I would have just gone home and I just would have called it a night. But here's the magic. With both of these situations, what I shared was a different example of feeling desire within the body and the universe answering. And it answered in different ways, but I love how they melded into one for me. And this is where I got the clarity of what the foundation of manifestation is. And that foundation is actually a square, because squares are the foundations of pyramids. And those are some of the most stable architectural structures around. So when I was reflecting on this, I realized there are 4 different sides to manifestation, to building that pyramid. And the first one's desire, feeling that desire. And for some of you, it might be instantaneous, like the apple, or it might be something that you felt for a number of days, a number of weeks, a number of months. And that desire will build. For some of you, desire may take a little bit of time to build. There may be a process. It depends on what that desire is, what it energetically will take to build. Because if you're calling something big into reality, it may take longer than calling it an apple. So that desire. The next one is detachment, letting it go. When I said I wanted to do something for my body to help me release, I let it go. And then I saw instantaneously when we were in our group meeting, my infinite good. I saw that class come up and I felt that desire. I never miss a trick. I love that manifestation and I love that affirmation. I never miss a trick. I didn't. I noted it and I logged it. I was like, okay, Wednesday. And I detached. The next one is discernment. You really have to take some time to see it does. Okay, is this desire truly something that's going to best suit me? And there is an example of this that I'm going to give in next week's video because it ties into understanding discomforts of manifestation, which I think are very important to understand, embody, and embrace. But when it comes to discernment, it's really important, like I shared with you, to know, am I just being lazy? Am I self-sabotaging? Or am I transmuting and moving through dense energy right now? You have to discern and be honest with yourself, because you may desire something, but what is in front of you may not be for your highest good. It may not serve you and have the best outcome that you desire. There's a level of discerning, and for each person, how much you need to strengthen your discernment muscle will vary. This depends on person to person. And this is where I feel nervous system regulation practice is really good, because if you are not good at discerning, it's because your nervous system and your boundaries are not very firm. And I'm speaking from personal experience. And that's why I am very religious about doing energy healing. And this week, I amplified my energy healing work to help me transmute what I was moving through. Because not only did I just come back from a memorial service, but there was also a lot that hit me throughout the week that had to do with an astrological shift that really tied into the new moon that was coming up on the 17th. There was a lot of different things playing out. So I knew that things were coming up for me to transmute, for me to work through. So I've done this stuff enough where I was like, okay, this is density. It's not me needing to take a step back, because as a neurodivergent, I also know that I overextend myself and I can be very hyperactive. I love to love on people and I love to be around people, but I also know that I have to balance my sacred me time because that's when I get to recharge with infinite spirit. That's when I get to do my energy healing, and that's when I get to show up as my best and be able to discern. So I had to be really honest about that. And when I got the this is you just transmuting some stuff, I was like, okay, let's go. And then the fourth one, which is where universe, it's more of a letting go, and it has to do with trust, trusting that the universe, you having the desire, you detaching, discerning, getting clarity around that discernment, and then trusting the choice you make. Because when you trust and you move forward, that's when you get that outcome. That's when you get the golden apple, as I've been telling myself. You get the golden apple. You get the golden goose, I guess. But it's you get that manifestation because you trust. And for some people, this the discernment, you're trusting the universe not only to meet you, but you have to trust yourself to show up. And again, that's where nervous system regulation is so crucial, because for some of you, it may be only a day, it may be only a few hours till you get that manifestation. For some of you, maybe weeks, it may be months, and it may be years. And I know for myself, when I know it's a long term manifestation, that's usually made very clear to me. I'm like, and I know my spirit guides will inform me. And that takes a lot of trust. And it also takes a lot of detachment and trust. And along the way, discerning which little micro choices will serve you in getting to the macro. It becomes this dance. And I'd like to say that in a linear fashion, it goes desire, detachment, discernment, trust. But in reality, it can bounce back and forth. It's not linear. So understanding those four principles of the foundation and how they can all navigate up to the top point and then bounce down to one side or the other, it just depends on your situation, depends on what you're manifesting, and it depends on where you are at in your nervous system regulation practice. Before I started this manifestation practice, what I did was I worked on healing my energetic blueprint. I did that the whole year before I even thought about entertaining this practice. I knew if I wanted to get my mind right, I had to get my energy right first. And I'm so grateful that I did, because when your blueprint is rewired for your greatness, your divine infinite greatness, and um I hear worthiness, because when you are rewiring your mindset, especially depending on what your background is. My background, I'm a woman of mixed generations. Part of my generational history has genocide. I am a SA victim. I've also had to work through scoliosis, early onsets of Parkinson's, and I've also worked through addiction. Like, mindset was not the most important. I had to work through all the things that were creating such disconnection in my life so I could not only create a healthy mindset, but a healthy relationship with money, a healthy relationship with infinite spirit, a healthy relationship with myself, with my family, with my community. And it's so crazy. And my business, there are so many levels of how doing the energy healing first really served me, because it helped me to address the issues and scarrings of my soul, which held generational trauma, epigenetics. It also held past lives. It held wounds from the collective mindsets and feelings, which can really manipulate how you think and feel, which is what can really create a lot of issues in the discernment. And I did that 6 times before I did this whole process, the mindset. Because when you heal your energy, it then attaches into your body and then it helps you heal your body. And then when your body starts to heal, you can start to regulate. And when you can start to regulate, you can start to bring in a new mindset and a new way of thinking, which means you can bring into reality a new way of being. So if you would like to address the energetic system, you can check out the Blueprint of Light that is listed in the description. It's a part of the energy healing programs and courses that I've created. There's a link down below that you can check out. And it has been such a game changer. And it also has, in that link, you can find the Blueprint of Light, but you can also find the physical support course. The physical support course is what I use most of the week to support my body in regulating itself. There are a few different things that I've done this week differently because there was a huge evolution within the collective, which required me to do more energy healing. My spirit guides, Infinite Spirit, was like, okay, you have to up the ante because you're bringing in a new reality. So, on top of understanding this foundational mindset or how to work with desire, how to feel it, how to acknowledge it, how to detach from it, how to discern, and then how to trust, all of that takes a lot of vigilant mindset. I don't know if I'd say the word training, but it takes a lot of conscious activity. And most of the time, 95% of the time, we are making subconscious actions. 5% are conscious. This is forcing you to become more than just 5% conscious. It's a stretch. So that's why for some of you, it may take more time. But I also want to stress that I've been doing this for 90 days religiously with a nervous system regulation practice, along with all the other work that I've been doing up until this point. I really primed and prepped myself to welcome in a new reality. And I love that I'm seeing it. And I love that I got to witness it. And I love that I get to share this with you now because whoever hears this, I feel it's meant to find you because it is a way to support you in bringing in your reality because I know all of us are at different points in our journey, but understanding that foundation, that square of desire, detachment, discernment, and trust, I just wish someone had said it earlier. And I am hearing maybe no one's had it, or maybe people have and it's just been in a course. I don't know. Maybe it's also been said in different ways too. That's very possible. But I know for myself, I've never found anything until I walked through this week and had that experience, which is why I'm so grateful I get to share it with you. I love recording this process because I get to see, witness myself in my own time, in my own evolution. And it's also something that can help you on your manifestation journey if you really are feeling called to do this work. And you can check out my description. I have the playlist that gives you my entire recording or my recording schedule. It gives you everything from A to we're at G right now, but it eventually will have A to Z, my whole experience of doing all of Florence Scovel Shin's books. You can check it out. Mindset Magic is the playlist down below. You can go and explore and see. And if you feel called to do this journey, start at week 1. You get my manifestations and you also get my shared experience because I think that's what a lot of people miss. And I would love for people to understand what I've gone through, the process I've done, and how it's not just as simple as, oh, I'm going to say it out loud. I'm going to do this twice a day. No, because when you start to do this work, it starts to elevate your energy, which creates expansion, which creates dysregulation in the body. And that's what I'm going to talk about next week. So if you'd like to listen and hear what I have to say, and also just join me on this journey, you can hit the like button, follow button. I don't know. Subscribe. There's the one, subscribe button. And so you can stay up to speed with where I'm at, and you can just get inspired. I would love to. The whole point of this thing was to inspire people and inspire myself, because energetically, I know if I get inspired, it almost amplifies and multiplies the experience that other people can have. So that's what I got for you this week. And again, next week, I will be talking about why having uncomfortable experiences is something that you shouldn't run from, but you should embrace, and is a natural process or a natural part of the manifestation process. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video.